Let's be honest, the AI revolution isn't some far-off future event. It's here, right now. It's a part of our daily lives, in our phones, our cars, and especially in our businesses. And at the very heart of this entire transformation is one thing, one absolutely critical element: data. So we're going to dive into how you can get a handle on your data and actually win in this new AI-driven world.
You know, this quote really says it all. The ideas behind AI have been kicking around for decades, but for the longest time, they were starved for one thing: enough data to learn from. Now, we're living in a completely different reality. We are swimming in an ocean of data, and that is the high-octane fuel that's powering this incredible AI moment we're in.
So here's the bottom line. If you want to win with AI, you have to get your data house in order first. It's that simple. But, and it's a big but, it's way easier said than done. See, this same data explosion that gives us all this power has also created these massive, show-stopping hurdles that can bring an AI project to a grinding halt before it even gets started.
To really get what we're up against, we need to talk about the famous 4 V's of big data. But listen, let's not treat these like some boring textbook definitions. Think of them as the 4 huge, real-world business challenges that pretty much every single organization is grappling with as we speak.
Okay, first up, we've got volume. And this isn't just about having, a lot of data. We're talking about a scale that is genuinely difficult to wrap your head around. The sheer quantity of information we're creating and trying to manage every single second. To really put this in perspective, let me ask you something. You probably hear this term zettabyte thrown around. But have you ever stopped to think about how big that number actually is? What does it even look like?
There it is. That's a 1 followed by 21 zeros. It's a billion terabytes. And this isn't science fiction, folks. We have officially been living in the zettabyte era for over a decade. A volume this massive creates unbelievable challenges around cost, storage, and just finding people with the skills to handle it all.
But it's not just how much data there is. It's the fact that it comes in all shapes and sizes. And that brings us to our second big hurdle, our second V, variety.
When most of us think about data, we picture neat rows and columns in a spreadsheet. The reality? It couldn't be more different. A jaw-dropping 80% of all business data today is what we call unstructured. And that fact, well, it changes the entire game.
And you can see the difference right here. Over on the left, you've got structured data. It's clean, it's organized, it's easy for computers to read. On the right, that's the Wild West of unstructured data. All your emails, your documents, your videos, audio files. It's messy, it's chaotic, but it's also where the richest human insights are hiding.
Okay, this brings us to our third V, and it's summed up perfectly by a phrase I'm sure you've all heard 1,000 times. Garbage in, garbage out. This is the challenge of veracity. In other words, how much can you actually trust your data?
Veracity, or data quality, is everything. It's non-negotiable. I mean, think about it. If your sales data is full of typos, or your customer data is out of date, any AI model you build on top of it is going to be fundamentally broken. It won't just give you bad analysis, it'll actively push you to make terrible business decisions.
And that brings us to our final V, velocity. Data doesn't just sit still anymore. It's constantly in motion. It's streaming in from social media feeds, from market tickers, from website clicks. The challenge isn't just to analyze it, but to analyze it in real time. Because in today's world, an insight that's even an hour late might as well be an insight you never had.
So, there you have it. Volume, variety, veracity, and velocity. It really can feel like you're trying to wrangle this giant, uncontrollable beast. But here's the good news. It can be tamed. So now we're going to pivot away from the problems and talk about the practical, real-world solutions.
So what's the secret? How do you actually take this 4-headed data monster and transform it from a source of chaos into your organization's most powerful asset? Well, it all comes down to having a clear, deliberate strategy and using the right set of tools for the job.
So let's open up that toolkit. Taming your data isn't about some single piece of magic software. It's about putting a solid, structured framework in place. And I like to think of it as the 4 essential pillars that need to hold up your entire data strategy. And here they are: data governance, data stewardship, data quality management, and data security. When you put them together, they create this comprehensive system that directly tackles all those challenges we just talked about. The 4 V's. First up, data governance. The easiest way to think about this is that it's your official rule book for data. It's the high-level strategy. It defines the rules of the road, who can do what with data, what standards it has to meet, and how you're going to manage it from the moment it's created to the moment it's deleted.
Now, if governance is the rule book, then data stewardship is like having referees on the field to actually enforce those rules. This is the hands-on, day-to-day work of making sure people are following the governance policies and that the data is staying clean, accessible, and truly trustworthy.
Pillar number 3, data quality management, is your direct weapon against that veracity problem. This is the engine room. It's the continuous, active process of profiling, cleansing, and standardizing your data. This is how you stop that garbage in, garbage out cycle before it ever has a chance to start.
And finally, our 4th pillar. Look, if your data really is one of your most valuable corporate assets, then you absolutely need a vault to protect it. And that's exactly what data security is. It's the whole system of technologies and practices that shield that valuable asset from being lost, corrupted, or stolen.
And this is way more than just putting up a firewall. We're talking about a defense-in-depth approach. Things like encrypting your data so it's useless if stolen, having strict controls over who can see what, and actively hunting for any threats to the system.
Okay, so you've done the hard work. You've put this toolkit in place. You've started to tame that data beast. What's the reward? What's the actual payoff? Well, this is the exciting part. This is where you stop just managing data and you start creating real, tangible value from it.
And this, right here, is the journey. This is the value ladder you get to climb. You start at the bottom with raw data, just facts and figures. But when you manage it well, you add context and it becomes information. When you analyze that information, you uncover patterns and it becomes knowledge. And finally, when you apply that knowledge to your business strategy, it becomes wisdom, the power to make the right call at the right time.
Which brings us right back to where we began. At the end of the day, this single sentence says it all. Your grand ambitions for AI are completely 100% dependent on how well you can handle your big data. You simply cannot succeed with one if you haven't mastered the other. So I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Today, every single organization has data. You've got mountains of it. But just having data isn't the point. That's not the same thing as having a strategy. So the real question you have to ask is, are you truly ready to tame that beast and unlock the real power of this AI revolution? Thanks for joining me.